The Chit-Chat Side-Rant.
What's this about Final Fantasy 60? Like,
because I was thinking more about it. Where you're like, oh yeah, you press the button in the 16 and you mash the thing, and you like it's just there'll be more stuff to do later. And it's like I was going through to do the last bit of the extra side quest content to find the rest of your friends, and then also get the best loot you can before going into Kefka's Tower for the final dungeon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, remembering the journey, just a quick remembering of the journey to get here. It's like, yeah, very early on in the game, you only have like a couple moves for some of your physical DPS characters. The samurai has 3 moves that you can tell him to do, and for a samurai, it's like the bigger the move, the longer the charge time is. He's got first one's called Fang. It's just attack something, ignore defense. It's just a
yeah.
Second one is I'm countering. If you touch me, it's gonna fucking hurt. Third one is 2 spells turned into a sword technique for him. He like level 3 slash is cloud or something like that. He jumps in after charging up. He jumps in and he hits him with gravity, which halves their HP, and then also just inflicts poison on them to tick the other half on. And that is in Final Fantasy games in old, and you sometimes run into one of these modern ones. When you're running into a dungeon, there is trash mobs, and then there's maybe in the middle of a couple of goblins, you'll find rogue vagabond guy with sword and shield. He's medium enemy to fight. And sometimes you will run into large enemy. It's not a boss, it's not a mini boss.
Yeah.
But if you're not paying attention, that guy's gonna fold you flat.
Yeah.
Like this one dungeon you go to is called Zozo, and it's just full of a bunch of criminals. So everything you're running into is just short criminal, medium criminal, kind of thing like that. You can also just run into a hill giant there.
Oh.
And the hill giant shows up, and he's just fucking taking up half the screen. You're just like, okay. I have played that game 3 ways till Sunday, so the second he shows up, it's like, I know exactly how to deal with this.
Yeah.
Mage, I know you know how to cast Imp. When something's an Imp, they have no strength at that point.
Okay. So
I hit him with Imp.
You're taking away the thing that makes the hill giant scary.
I turn him into an Imp. His attack power is cut. He can't use any spells because he's an Imp. And he can still counter, but it's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
But when stuff shows up and you have a party and you can choose the party, when you have a party of characters, you have a variety of things you can do. And in that situation where I had to go to Zozo, it's one of those times because there's a bunch of characters that are in your party. They just go, hey, this thing happened. Pick the 4 characters that you want to go into this next beat of the story thing. Yeah. If you pick 3, there's a guy that you can recruit a part of the way. So I usually pick 3 for that.
Yeah.
But it was my choice on what I wanted. And I was like, at that point in the story, I was like, okay, I just did everybody came together. We just did a big ass fight. So I played as everybody. That's cool. I was like, what do I want right now? And I was like, okay, I'm going into this area. I know there's this. I know I can steal something from this one guy. So I'm going to bring the thief. I know I need somebody who can cast magic because it's still really early on and I have no magic whatsoever. So I was like, I'm going to bring the one person who knows how to do magic spells. And then I was like, I need one more person because I'm going to recruit the second guy. So I was like, I need somebody who can hit really hard because the thief can't do shit. The mage can hurt, but she's still learning her spells. But I was like, I need something that's just, if I see the hill giant and I don't have the magic for him, I need someone who's going to kill that. Hill giant shows up, cast Imp, cuts it in half. If I didn't feel like doing that, the other option was, because I brought the samurai, hack his HP in half, then I'll have to deal with half of his HP to kill him at that point. Which is, at that point, it's like significantly. Like, if it hits, cutting it in half is fucking phenomenal for that. I love the variety that you could get from all that crap.
Yeah.
I love the variety you get from that. I just hope that maybe, again, once we get the other icons, because it just makes it seem like I'm going to be hoovering up icons, if I could get some variety in what I'm doing, maybe it'll be interesting. But that's the problem. That's why I didn't like 13, because it was very rigid on what you could do, and I've already said it a couple times. After a while, they get you more stuff, and your characters can do more stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting more interested instead of going, I can't believe it's another fight here, another random encounter. I don't want to do this fight because who is in my party? Because in that game, you don't get to choose your party most of the time. Story says these are the characters you have to have, and there's like this one thing where it's like, oh, you got to play as Saz, the guy with the afro, and Vanille, who's supposed to be like white mage or whatever with like barely any spells. And I was like, that's cool. DPS who can't tank and squishy white mage. if I get slapped, I have to immediately start healing as the white mage, which means one guy is on DPS the whole time.
Yeah.
And in that
You start getting into a very bad loop that you're not going to be able to get out of.
Because they had the stagger system in that one.
Yeah.
And the tanks were the one who could build up the stagger, and the DPS is the one who hurts in the stagger break window.
Yep.
And I didn't have a tank. No, I did not. So I like the variety they always let you have in older Final Fantasies. It peaked in 10. That was the most perfect, like, seamless
You
party
consider
system.
Final Fantasy X an old Final Fantasy?
Yes, because everybody had classes, defined roles, and most importantly, party members can be swapped in and out.
Okay. All right.
Modern Final Fantasy starts the second they introduce the stagger gauge, which is 13. 12 is still old to me. It makes more sense that 12 feels old when you play the Zodiac edition, because the original version of 12, which was probably the one you played, it does that thing where it's like, here is the grid. And you could go anywhere, and you could do whatever you want with anybody's stats and turn them into what you want. Zodiac edition goes, okay, the international edition. They're like, hey, yo, we realize that is relying on the player to do way too much thinking about what they want to do.
Yeah.
So they were like,
Yeah.
instead of it being a giant, expansive field of 700 squares in all directions, they were like,
It was very intimidating.
we
see
have tile sets that just go, this is the night tier. If you go in this thing, your guy gets more tanky.
I have the Zodiac because I love Final Fantasy 12, even though I've played
Not a lot
just
of it.
the opening bit. But I had a friend that I would watch play Final Fantasy 12, so I saw the later era. The main thing that I remember is he was doing something in the village where all of the bunny people live.
Yeah.
So I was just enthralled watching him play through it. I never let me touch it, but I was like, okay, because he was that kind of way.
Apparently, all of your old friends were that kind of way.
Apparently. All right, so here's a question I honestly got. In Final Fantasy X, they had the active time combat, where if it was clicking on a time frame, and if you took a lot of time...
No, that wasn't the active time battle system. That's when they used, I forgot what the term it is, but it showed the turn order on the side.
I thought you had to time your presses of when you said attack for it to come out. Or am I getting that mixed with something else?
8 had that for basic attacks.
Okay.
There was a trigger system for doing it in 8.
Okay.
Not in 9. 10, if you did your special attack, where your burst was full or whatever, you did your special attack. Most of those...
Maybe that's what I'm getting
Most of
confused
those
with.
were like, fighting game input or win a mini game real quick.
Did they change that in X2?
X2, they changed it up a bit differently because you only have the 3 party members, but they all could change different.
Because I saw a lot more, because my sisters played they bought X2. We didn't have X. So I saw a little bit more of them playing X2. But I also I was not interested in playing X2 at all. Because it was like, I wasn't interested in those games. But it's kind of interesting listening to you talk about, being able to choose your party members and doing all this. Because the kind of RPGs that I grew up with was like Digimon World 3, where it's a knockoff of Pokemon, where I get to choose my party members, but it's Pokemon, so of course you're choosing your party members. But then the main RPGs that I would grow up with that I sunk a lot of time in later on were things like Kingdom Hearts, where it's here is Donald, here is Goofy,
and then your guest
you
slot.
might get a guest that barely does anything
for that world, for that
and then
section.
Kingdom Hearts 2 came in, it's like, yeah, it's less of the guest and more of here's a summon. So I'm a lot more used to RPGs where you don't build your party and you just bring people in. I did play Rogue Galaxy, where it's a lot more action based like Kingdom Hearts, but you still choose certain party members, but it's more akin to like something like Mass Effect or Dragon Age Origins.
That Mass Effect is also a good example as well for making a point on party members. That's one of those things where it's like, yes, you can be like, what are we fighting? No, that was the best part. It's like, what are we fighting? And it's like, oh, we're fighting Geth today. It's like, well, one of the slots has to be Tally.
It was
and then
less.
probably maybe I'll bring Rex to just tank it.
always found that the party members, I wasn't choosing them for their utility in Mass Effect. I was choosing them for who do I think is going to have the most to say on this deployment.
Those are the two things that I always think about.
Whenever I'm thinking of who I want to bring with me, I'm not thinking, oh, I need a black mage for this. I'm going to need a tank for this. I'm going to need a DPS. I'm not thinking of that kind of party structure.
It helps.
I'm thinking, because like in Rogue Galaxy, it had the thing where it's like, you're on this planet. It's an industrial planet. Do you want to bring the 6'7" Amazonian girl with washboard abs who has lived her entire life on an agrarian jungle planet? Or do you want to bring the badass pirate, space pirate guy with you? Or do you want to bring the princess, not princess, space princess who is inheriting all of the galaxy? It's those kinds of things. And like Rogue Galaxy or like Mass Effect is like, I'm going to the Geth ship. I'm going to bring Tally. And then who do I think is going to... I should probably bring Garrus. But Garrus might not have that much to say about that. I should bring Miranda. Miranda's probably going to have a lot because she's working with Cerberus. Who the fuck cares about Jacob? No one should ever bring... There's two missions where you bring Jacob.
Because you have to.
There's two missions. The very opening mission where you don't get to choose him, and the mission where you go fuck up his dad.
Yep.
Those are the only two missions you're allowed to take Jacob with.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of interesting listening to you rant about this, and I'm wondering where 16 is going to take us, because I do know that you do get more party members, but I don't know if you get to choose how those... But again, like you were saying...
The dog joined us. If Jill joins us and she helps us out with magic and, you know, got like just calling us because I haven't... Because even though I watched the Raptoons thing, it didn't explain anything that I retained, so don't worry, I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
If Jill joins us and Jill likes us enough that it's like she is just staple to us for the rest of the game and she's the magic person, fucking fine. Even bonus points... If when she is our party member, it can only be two people, and I say, I want to bring Jill instead of the dog, she has that thing that the dog had. Like, Jill, fire. Jill, cure me. Jill, I'm poison.
Yeah.
If you get that, fucking bonus points.
Here's the thing that I'm more interested in is that it sounds like I'm just... Again, like I was saying, I'm much more interested in bringing characters along with me that I think are going to have more interesting impact on the things that they might comment on or say during the game.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I'm interested if it's going to be more like Final Fantasy VI, where the party members that you're doing are going to drastically change how you play, or if it's going to be like modern Final Fantasies, like Final Fantasy VII Remake or Mass Effect, where it's like, yeah, the party members kind of influence how you're going to handle the situation, but you're going to be 90% of the power handling the situation.
The good thing about it, because you still haven't played it, is I think I've said it before when we were playing 16, is 7 Rebirth fucking nails that with the party members, because they do that thing. I think I mentioned it before. They do that thing where it's like, funnily enough, everybody's there. You pick Cloud, you pick whatever, and you pick whomever. And then the 3 people you don't pick
are just right behind you.
Are like 30 feet behind you.
I've heard that
Barrett's taking pot shots while
you're doing that. You can just swap them out at will in the middle of fights.
So you could do 2 things. You could say, all right, I'm going to spend an ATB gauge, hop homeboy in here. Or if you build up enough of this other thing, I forgot what it was, you go, I'm going to spend 2 ATB gauge, 50 soul points. I'm going to do a dual tech that swaps in Barrett.
Okay.
And I was like... You play Rebirth and you're like, this mogs the first game so hard on what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying when they announced and they showed off Revelations, I was like, how? I know I'm being an entitled consumer. You have to make the third game better than the second. And the second, in terms of combat, was so fucking good. And then they're like, what if we had 2 more party members? And now...
You're going to have 5 party members?
No. 3 in the front, now 5 in the back. 2 more.
Oh, 5
to the whole thing.
In reserve.
Variety.
In reserve. Okay, so it's not 5 actively.
Yeah, 3 in front, 5 in back.
I'll be honest. If there was a mod that just said
everybody,
like
right there.
just everyone there, like if you want to talk about a mod that I would love, like I changed this when I was playing XCOM 2. I made it to where it's like, no. In my head, if we have aliens coming down to fuck our shit up, why are we sending a squad of like 3, maybe at most 5 dudes to handle this giant battlefield? I'm like, I'm gonna send like 30 guys. I don't care if 10 of them die as fodder. I'm gonna send 30 guns out there.
Yeah. No. What they did.
I killed quite a few members of XCOM.
to finish the thought, how they did it was they're like 2 more party members to figure out so you can keep the variety on who you can play as. Because like, good for you.
The third one's gonna be the first game where you get to actually play with the dog, right? Or was that
was in Rebirth?
That was in Rebirth.
Vincent was the guest character in Rebirth. Now he's gonna be playable in Revelations.
Oh, that's who I'm
as
thinking
well
of
as
then.
Sid was a guest character, and now he is also gonna be playable. They
Okay.
said there's a third person. We don't know who it is. Whatever, we'll get there. But I was gonna say 2 more party members, and then they also did the shut off the thing where they're like, and now there is job system. Like they called it something else, but it was basically the job system.
I heard some people really excited about that.
And they're like, job system, and they could have just left it right there, and our imagination was wearing wild, but they were like, let's just show you a little bit what this means so you don't have to try to guess what this is. And they showed off Tifa. It's like, oh yeah, Tifa, brawler. Her thing that you can immediately get is just Tifa Black Mage. And I'm just like, now it is about to get really fucking good.
Yeah.
Again, that is because of variety. That's why I don't like modern Final Fantasies. The 13 just took a goddamn minute to get variety, and once they got to the variety, I was like, I'm enjoying this. I was fucking it up a lot until I figured it out, and then me and my eldest brother is no longer around. He like once it got to that point, he was like trying to figure out how all this works, and once it does, it. That's why I was thinking about it more. I was thinking about 6 more when you were like, well, you're like waiting around when this happens, blah, blah. And I was like, when all that stuff's happening, I am figuring out exactly what I want to do when that happens. Like I was trying to give you an example the other day where it's like, thing shows up quickly right off the top of my head. Going through that thief village or whatever. You go inside one of the buildings, you can still run into random encounters. It's cool. It's like a hostile town, if you will.
Yeah.
You go inside, and it's like one of the encounters you can run into is like two thief guys with sickles, medium thieves guys, and behind them is a dancer chick. Because I played the game immediately, I know I was like, that dancer chick has 3 things that she can do: attack you, not a lot of damage; cast level 2 ice, which you can't even do, it fucking hurts; or throw a knife at you, which will just kill you. Very low chance.
So she's the one to take out first.
And if you ignore the thief guys in the front, they will steal your money very fast, or they will just use a chop you in half kind of thing. It's a deadly encounter, and I think it's like the thief guys are faster than her, but the second that shows up, I'm just like, how do I kill these guys in the least amount of moves possible?
Okay.
And that's what I'm thinking when the ATB gauge is filling up, because they also have it. That's how that works. That's what I'm thinking. I was like, okay, example, it's like I have the samurai thing there, and I was like, okay, level 1 charge Fang is going to kill at least, because it's random, you don't get to pick who it is. It's like if he hits one of the thief guys, it will kill one of the thief guys. Chick is resistant to magic. The third guy, the extra guy that you recruit is a ninja. He also throws shit, and I had excess weapons because you can just throw regular weapons at that point. So I was like, he's also very fast. I was like, the second he is up, throw something at the dancer.
Yeah.
Throw something at the dancer to stop that immediately. And anybody else, deal with the final thief guy. And if that doesn't work, if they outspeed me, then I have to take that whole plan I did and focus in recovery and try to pick somebody up, because I don't want anybody dead because they don't get experience if that fight plays out.
Okay.
That's how the ATB system is.
All right.
It's just thinking about what to do as it's happening and just planning ahead. So the second you have the moment, you jump in there. The second it changes, it's just Mario. It's adaptable. You just go, okay, thing changed. I still need to do this, but I need to focus on this now. It's just more engaging.
I've always clicked a little bit better where it's like I'm more interested in Tales games because I am directly controlling this character, moving them in and out, and it's like, and they're not just sitting around. I guess they're not waiting to be hit, but it feels like I'm just waiting to be hit. So I prefer games where it's like, no, if I'm good enough, I can get through this battle just not getting hit.
One thing I will say to your benefit, with the more up-to-date ports that they've been doing for the older Final Fantasies, you don't have to deal with that problem. One of the things I did when I was going through that, I was just like, okay, again, I played the game. The game is going through, and the ATB gauge is charging. I was like, I played this more times than I could count. I swear. Pause. Go to configuration. It was just like, how fast do you want the battles to be? And I was like, what do I got? ×1, ×2, ×4. And I was like, give me ×2. That wait is really fucking fast, but the downside is because everything's that fast. It's like the second your turn is there, you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because they were gonna also just hit you really hard.
Yeah.
But you don't get that if you play it baseline on a SNES cartridge. You don't get that.
Yeah.
Ports though, I was just like, yeah, no, I was like, let me. What's one-time speed? And it was like at base because you can get agility, which speeds up the thing later. At base, it was like, yeah. I'm like, come on. When do I learn haste again? Like, I'm already that fast, and I just got the ability to cast haste on everybody.
Yeah.
So, like, a second a boss shows up, they're just like, boss music kicks in, the first few parts, like, my name is, and I'm like, haste to go right now. Come on. I want to hit him. I want to hit him really, really hard as often as, I don't want to give him a fucking moment to try to kill me. So, but yeah, no, Tales games are really good. I like both. I like turn-based and I like active.
I gotta find a video because I'm gonna be playing Tales of Vesperia. I'm gonna be resuming my LP of Tales of Vesperia on Monday with Rock Girl.
Awesome.
I need to brush up again on how that combat system works because I swear I still don't understand. Because again, I think my max combo was like 7.
You just gotta look at because Rock Girl's played it before, right?
No.
Anyway,
this is both of our first time.
Check out the what your abilities are, what you can learn. Because like I was saying the other day, it's like you can get stuff where it's just like, oh, we'll do this, and you can cancel out.
I've already dropped the difficulty down to easy. Like, this is not an interesting combat. Like
until you get the other stuff.
I've gone to this point where it's like, it's not that interesting of a combat thing. We are definitely more into it for the funny stories and the skits they're doing.
The skits are great.
The skits are great in Vesperia.
Like, skits are great in most Tales games.
Yeah.
They're really fucking
so that's what we're there for. We're there for the story experience. Unfortunately, this is one of those games where it came out before the story thing, where you just breeze through all the combat encounters.
Yeah, easy should be just fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't just look at the stuff.
We got to one section, it's like, yeah, this is just a wall, and either we're super under-leveled because we didn't grind at all, we were just going through the story, and I guess the game was expecting us to be like, yeah,
sometimes it does.
You should be like 8 levels higher. It's like, oh, just drop that down to easy and let's just get through this.
A well-designed game, because I was thinking about that too, because you were talking about the grinding, stuff like that. I did take a few moments in 6 to just stop and grind out some stuff, but again, the advancements that they have in the ports are really nice. You don't have to grind in 6. People do that to make something that's about to happen easier to happen.
Yeah.
If you know, like me, if you just know what the boss is weak against and all that jazz, like any of the roadblocks that were just hitting because I was 7 years old, like trying to go get the airship and you have to do the opera scene, it gets jumped by this boss, and it's like he has moves, like all of his moves hurt like a truck and can kill you so easily, but I'm just like, I also know that he takes triple damage from fire. So I brought 3 people, and it was at that point you can learn magic.
Okay.
So I was like, when that happened, I was like, everybody who it's like, I want to go. Like at that point, you can only choose like 2 party members to go with you, and the other 2 were locked in for store reasons. The part was like, I want to go. I was like, you can come, but you have to learn fire. That is the one requirement. Everybody must learn fire before we go to the opera today.
Yeah.
But you only grind for that kind of stuff. A well-designed game, you don't, as long as you just fight what is directly in your way, you're good. That's another reason why I also really like Chrono Trigger. I thought because it was around the same time, I did have to grind because I was a kid and I was stupid. I didn't know how to play 6. There was times where I had to grind when I was 7 years old. Chrono Trigger, I went through it, I was like, I don't have to grind at all. You just because all the fights are not, there's not random encounters, they're on the field.
Yeah.
And you could choose to avoid them or not. But if they're just in your way, knock them out, take them out, get experience, you're fucking good. You don't have to grind. A good RPG, you don't have to grind. It's usually a choice, but sometimes it is not, where it's like, oh, why are you like 7 levels lower than this boss? And I'm like, yeah, boss is supposed to be a little bit higher level than me, but if I'm just not dealing enough damage, then something is wrong here.
Yeah.
Something is wrong here. But yeah, no, that's just why I like variety when it comes to RPGs, and I like both turn-based and action, because I used to like turn-based, But then I started finding like better action RPGs, and I'm like, oh, this can be done well.
Yeah.
I just was playing very shitty action RPGs. So it's just, I like the variety. It's not in 16 yet. We'll see what happens. That's the only thing that I can see, because I know I'm not going to get another person to control.
It truly sounds like, as we've been going through 16 in the little session so far, like, yeah, the story hasn't enraptured you. I'm definitely getting more from the story than you are, but it hasn't quite just like, you haven't crashed out like you thought you would.
If this is
and you keep saying it's like, I'm on the verge of crashing out, but it's like, again,
when we get the next icon,
gotten there.
That's the thing. Once we get the next icon, and it just goes, okay, yo, add a pocket. It's the ice icon.
Yeah.
Cool. And it's like, all right, cool. So I had a single target, high stun, uppercut, fire attack, and I had an AoE fire attack. What do I got for the ice thing? And it's like, you have an AoE ice attack, and you have a single target ice slam. That is when I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Okay.
That's when I'll be like, this is your variety. This is different elemental weakness, same fucking attack.
Okay.
I will fucking drop that shit in a heartbeat.
All right.
At that point. Because then it'll be like, this is what you think variety is, Square? This is what you think... You don't know shit anymore.
I mean, I've... From what I've seen from like Final Fantasy VII Remake, yeah, that's kind of what variety is to them now.
Thank God Rebirth is fun. Thank God Rebirth is fun. No, what I was going to say, rewinding it, flag it all the way back. 10 perfected the party system thing because it's just like Rebirth, but you don't have to spend shit. Your party, you have your 3 in front, your 3 or 4 in back or whatever. At any point during a fight, because enemies have hard counters, flying enemy, you can't touch it unless you're Waka, because he's the archer character with the ball and stuff like that. Only he can hit him. Everybody else will miss because they're not accurate. Their accuracy stat's not high enough. In 10, at any point when you're going through, it's like, oh shit, I walked into this random encounter and there's a flyer guy here, and I have tank buster, guy to catch a wolf, and guy to burst mage thing down. Mage turn shows up, and I just go swap with Waka. And she's like, you got this, Waka. No turn. But you can't do it again for that character slot. But you just go, what? And Walker just goes, what do you need? And it's his turn immediately. And I was like, that is the most seamless having a full party all at the same time has been in an RPG. You can ask anybody. That was the most, the only drawback is you can't just go swap out. No, wait, not that character. No, wait, not that character. It's like you can do it once, so just pick the guy that you need, and you're fucking good. But it was cool that everybody was there, and at a moment's notice, in random encounters, that was great. The best part about that is also just when you run into a boss, because you're not going to be like, oh, the boss is just flyer, so I only need Walker for this thing. It's like, no, you could just be like, one of the downsides of having a thief in any Final Fantasy game is that, yeah, they're good for stealing. Once they steal the one item they got there, they have mid stats. They're fast, so like, you know, their turn will come up fast, so you can have them just popping potions and whatever you need. But in terms of DPS, your thief's not going to do shit. 10. Thief goes up, boss comes out, steal the thing. She steals the thing. Her sub skill is combining items to make something, which is also useful. But if you just say, F it, I don't need a thief anymore, she steals the thing, and you go, swap out for the mage.
Okay.
You're done, swap out for the mage, and you get the best of both those worlds. You get to steal the thing, because in older Final Fantasies, for me, it's like, I'm glad it's a 4-party setup instead of a 3-party setup for 10. In 6, I always have the 3rd slot. Like, 1st slot's my tank, 2nd slot's my backup physical DPS, 3rd slot is flex, 4th slot is magic. Flex is often thief or anybody that I don't care if they do something correct or not, which is a thief. He can just be there, he can just up his stealing all the wants, and when he's done, he can just help out with some very mid spell casting on everybody. But I just take that DPS L because I know I could just kill it if I had just 3 fucking guys on it. But that system for 10, it's just like swap in, do the thing, swap out. Okay, I'm done. Or Black Mage is like, boss is going on so long, I forgot to heal up before I did this. Black Mage runs out of MP. Swap it out for somebody else that's good. And then they hop in and they're fucking fresh faced because you weren't using them. It's beautiful when they do it correctly.
Yeah.
All right. That was a lot of yammering, but that was a lot of Final Fantasy content for you.
It was about a half hour yammering. So.
All right.